So in this video, we are going to talk about the pathophysiology of iron, how it is absorbed, metabolized, and used in our bodies. So once we consume iron, and it travels down into the small intestine in the ferric iron form, which is the iron 3 plus. In order to be actually absorbed into the lumen, we need an enzyme called vitamin C ferrite reductase. So that reduces from the ferric iron 3 plus, into ferrous iron form, which is iron 2 plus. And this transporter called divalent metal transporter 1, DMT1, helps the iron 2 plus get transported into the lumen with using a hydrogen being taken in together. Okay, here the iron 2 plus gets oxidized back into iron 3 plus in order to be stored as ferritin. How it leaves the lumen is using a channel called ferroportin. So it leaves the lumen like that, and we have an enzyme hepastin. What it does, it converts ferrous iron into ferric iron form in order to be transported around in other cells such as bone marrow and liver. And here we are going to talk about its use. So it has two different usages. We have erythropoiesis, which is the RBC production, and the liver storage. But first we'll talk about how the iron cannot transport by itself, so it always needs transferrin to bind onto. So when transferrin is not bound to any of the iron, it is called apotransferrin, whereas when it's bound to iron 3 plus, it is called transferrin. So about 75% of the iron gets used in erythropoiesis process. So at the bone marrow, the erythrocytes have a transferrin receptor expressed, and these will obviously call in for the transferrin, which has the iron attached onto it. Why we need iron in bone marrow is that we need it for RBC production. So once iron is used by the pre-RBCs at the bone marrow, it gets matured in the intracirculation. So it gets matured in there, so all these mature RBCs that are from the bone marrow. Whereas 10 to 20% of the iron gets stored in the liver, so it gets stored in the ferric form, the iron 3 plus form, and the liver releases iron back into circulation via the ferroportin that is existing at the liver.